Okay, here we go. We're ready to go. We're back here on the Lynne Hayes Freeland Show. We are, I tell you what, we're roughly, I want to say probably about 85 days. I didn't actually do the math. We're 85 days away from the election. There's a lot going on with the census, and what a lot of people don't realize is the census at this point is going to end earlier than it was supposed to. So you don't have time to play around with this. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because Jackie Hill and Dr. Judith Moore are my guests today, and they're here to talk about it. I'm not sure where Dr. I was going to say, where are you going? Situated there.
Start ringing.
Oh, okay. That's okay. No call back. So, ladies, so let's talk about this. You have an event coming up on the 20th of August. Tell us about that. Okay.
Now,
tell us about that.
Go in.
Yes, on August 20th.
For the upcoming election and beyond.
Yes.
And beyond. We want to help people understand that voting is imperative. And that mail-in ballots are a tool that they have at their disposal and not this scary thing that everyone is trying to make it out to be, along with the counteractions of closing the post office and hours and delaying the mail. There are ways to get around that, and people need to do whatever is absolutely necessary to cast their vote.
Yes.
And we want to talk about that. So we have someone Celeste Taylor, who works at a grassroots level with BPEP, who's been with them for years and has major accomplishments under her belt. We have Representative Summer Lee, who will come on and talk about what is happening at the state and some of the things that we need to support and back her up in as far as legislation is concerned. And we have Brenda Tate, who was a member of the state Democratic Party. And people know little about how people at the state level get endorsed for political office by the various parties. So she'll share some of that information with us. And Dr. Moore and myself will talk about local and national politics.
And so then, Dr. Moore, who should come to this event? Who is likely to come to this event on the 20th?
Our hope is that it's open to anyone who's interested in finding more information about the voting process and what we should be looking forward to. There's a lot of chaos going around this election, concerns about consolidating polls. It's going to be important. They know what their rights are, to be educated on what to look for if they're coming and going inside of the poll, or if they're going to do a mail-in ballot. What's required is to fill out an application. So they need to know that in order to receive their mail-in ballot. So we're going to encourage as many people as possible, especially our seniors. I can almost say I'm almost a senior, but we're encouraging the seniors, those who have conditions that will put them at risk. And so we're going to be encouraging through dialogue from these three sisters to tell us and educate us and to motivate us to make sure we understand the price of being able to fill out our census, but also the importance of our vote. It's just crucial for a crucial time.
And two follow-up questions. Is this an in-person event? Is this a virtual event? What are the specifics of the event on the 20th?
It is a virtual event.
Okay.
So people can just click the link and be tuned into the event. And I also want to be very clear, just because we're saying it's around Black women, we are encouraging as many men as possible to tune in as well, because it's about information.
Yes.
Example, in the last election, Allegheny County traditionally has 1,300 polling sites that people can go to their local polling site. In the last election, there were 138. We're now talking about November. Unpredictable weather in Pittsburgh, right? People potentially standing in long lines. Probably little or no social distancing when you're standing in line to vote.
Right.
So we wanted to help people understand the realities that they face. If you're going to the polls, you need to be prepared. Bring a chair, bring snacks, bring whatever it is that you think you're going to need if you were to have to wait 2 or 3 hours. So we want to give people some of the realities to anticipate should they decide to go to the polls physically and not use their mail-in ballot, which would be an alternative to that.
And then, Dr. Moore, talk a little bit about the census, because a lot of times people don't make the census, and people hear the term gerrymandering a lot, and people don't necessarily process when you fill out your census form, that can have an impact on how the district lines are drawn in the future.
Yes, and I think that's done through education and making sure that we get the information needed to the people that need to know about it, because I think we forget sometimes, and as Black families, I don't know, we sometimes have 2, 3 generations, and and sometimes we don't want to report who's in our household, but we forget that because they don't put their names on it, we are denying ourselves the resources that we need to better our community, our schools, and all of our social services. All of that relies on the count. And so we have to drive it home to them how important their application is to making sure and secure a better quality life for themselves and their families.
Indeed. So now this is all coming up on the 20th. Now, is there a website, or it's all on the flyer that we've been showing on the screen?
Yeah, it's all on the flyer.
Okay. All right. Coming up on the 20th. Ladies, thanks so much. This is all great information. Folks need to get it. And we appreciate you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Indeed. Have a great day. We're going to take a commercial break. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, I got to tell you about, you don't think about movies or films this time of year, but you'll be surprised. Stick around. We'll be right back.